Hi, I'm Robert F. Kennedy Jr., your HHS secretary. Today, I'm announcing decisive steps that HHS is taking to defend something that is absolutely fundamental in this country: a parent's right to guide their child's health decisions. That right is not optional, it's non-negotiable, and under the Trump administration, it will not be ignored. HHS has launched an investigation into a troubling incident in the Midwest. A school administered a federally funded vaccine to a child without the parent's consent and despite a legally recognized state exemption. When any institution, a school, a doctor's office, a clinic, disregards a religious exemption, it doesn't just break trust, it also breaks the law.
So after seeing that, I thought it'd be a great time to talk to Kim Bright from Brightcore. She's the founder of Brightcore. You've had her on many times. She knows all about this kind of stuff. Kim, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. I mean, this is crazy, Barry. I mean, they disregarded a religious exemption, which is legally recognized. So these people broke the law. I mean, this is nuts. I mean, the parents are the primary caregivers and the moral and legal decision makers for minors. I hope we still have that in this country. I mean, children can't generally give informed consent. So somebody's got to weigh the benefits, the risks, the values on their behalf. And, you know, the parents are usually best positioned to evaluate what aligns with their child's needs and the family circumstances. So, vaccinating somebody, that's a medical intervention. And people believe that the decision should require consent rather than coercion.
To me, it doesn't seem like it makes any sense at all. As long as a parent has the mental faculties to be making these decisions, I don't think there should be any decision that the school system should be putting in the parent's place. And so you as a parent, what would be your reaction if somebody did that to your child?
Oh, you don't want to know. You don't want to know.
I think I do know, but you're exactly right. My wife would go absolutely ballistic. You know, each child and family is different. Should we have exemptions or a way to look at vaccines on a case-by-case basis?
Oh, that's absolutely correct. I mean, there's religious exemptions. I never vaccinated my children. I didn't believe in it because I knew how to take care of my children, help and be healthy and raise them up healthy. There are circumstances, I believe, where children are in an environment where they're not getting fed the right foods. They have very poor health. And maybe that vaccination will help them. So yes, there's different circumstances. And medical decisions aren't all one size fits all. You know, maybe a child has severe allergies to some of the components, or they have complex medical histories. And again, families, they have religious exemptions and they want to choose alternative methodologies and options. But to have a heavy-handed mandate, Barry, like what they did with the COVID vaccines, that's just going to backfire and have dire health consequences for everybody.
At what point would you accept as a parent that government or big pharma should be involved in decisions about your child's health?
No point. I don't think the government should be involved because we know our children best. Come on. I mean, the same goes for our bodies. I mean, we're adults. We should be able to make our own decisions on how to take care of ourselves. Unless, again, going back to what you said earlier, if you are mentally incapacitated, okay. All right, there's a reason. But as adults that are fairly sane, I think we should be able to have our own decisions. And the problem is that so much of what we're being told to do health-wise, it's being controlled by big pharma interests.
I understand from a mental incapacitation perspective that government may have, or some sort of municipality may have, an interest in a child's well-being. But should big pharma ever be allowed to step in on behalf of a child's interest?
Absolutely not. Verboten. Never.
I don't understand why people on the left are somewhat like that. They think that big pharma has the answer. I mean, look what's happening in Rhode Island right now. We have two Democrats attacking each other over claims of profiting over the opioid crisis. So Fox, the Democratic rival, is accused of making tens of millions of dollars from this epidemic. How can we trust government if they're profiting actually putting money in their pocket from people dying.
Well, I don't think this is a new story, Barry. I think this has been going on for a long time. We're just, we're getting more transparent, thank goodness. I think because of President Trump, he's so transparent. So things are coming out. But, the incumbent Rhode Island governor, Dan McKee, he's continuing to attack the 2026 Democrat rival Helen Fowlkes, who, by the way, is former U.S. Senator Chris Dodd's niece. And that's for her personal and professional ties to the pharmaceutical industry. I mean, did you know that Fowlkes was a former CVS executive and president, and that CVS is Rhode Island's biggest employer? I mean, McKee's latest attack against her and Dodd relies primarily on reporting by Go Local Prov, which claims to have been investigating the opioid crisis since 2017. And the headlines are very damning. I mean, a story from January 21st, 25 declares, investigation, Fowlkes made tens of millions at CVS while she rode profits from the opioid epidemic. I mean, this is criminal. I mean, how evil are these demon rats? Yeah. I mean, when in their own primaries, they're arguing about profiting over the opioid crisis that killed so many people. I mean, do you really think these pharmaceutical companies have your best interest at heart? I don't think so. I think you should be very wary about what pharmaceuticals you're being told to put into your body.
We're gonna have to bring you on maybe in January to talk about the whole fentanyl thing. But it's not just illegal drugs. I've got a cold right now myself as I'm talking to you. I don't like to put anything foreign into my body whatsoever, except for supplements and of course kimchi. But my body doesn't respond well to any sort of medicines. In fact, I get loopy. Sometimes I get tired. I prefer to let my own body work through it. I've been around for 65 years, so I think it's been able to do it pretty successfully. But tell me what's been going on with prescription drugs. I saw this study saying that prescription drugs are the third leading cause of death. That can't be real, is it?
No, it's real. I mean, that's right, Barry. I mean, after heart disease and cancer, the third leading cause of death in the United States is prescription drug use. And it's not because of overdoses or acute complications. Taking these drugs are shortening our lifespan in a variety of ways. And there are preventative ways to avoid chronic diseases before you're forced to take prescription drugs that act as a Band-Aid. They only alter symptoms. They don't address the cause. I mean, we need to stay hydrated. That helps tremendously that people when they get sick. Regular exercise and movement and what you eat in your nutritional regime. And Barry, I have to tell you, it's natural to get a cold, in the spring and the fall when the seasons are changing, because that's our, God's way of allowing our body to rest and clean out the excess from that season. So when you take pharmaceutical drugs, all you're doing is stuffing it back down in and not allowing the body to cleanse itself.
It's so funny you say that because I could usually set the calendar by when I get a cold. It usually comes like the first week of January, and even Robin says, she goes, "It's coming, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's coming," but it came like 2 weeks early. But it's like calendars. Just every single January or so, I get sick, and it used to be different when I lived in Connecticut. Now living in South Florida, it's different because we don't really have a big seasonal change, but our seasonal change down here goes from 80 to like 60 in a couple of nights, and you often can feel it different in your body. Now, you mentioned a term, and nobody ever really defines this. Before I ask you this question, I want to ask you to basically set the record here. What exactly is a chronic disease?
A chronic disease is something that is continuing on. An acute disease happens for a short period of time. So when you have chronic disease, it's a lingering thing in your body. And chronic disease usually spirals down into something worse, like cancer, heart disease, diabetes, things like this. When you're having chronic, colds all the time, or you can have a lot of different chronic diseases, but they will ultimately turn into much more severe things in our body because the body's so out of balance.
Okay, so besides drugs and pharmaceuticals, what else can we be doing to prevent those kind of chronic diseases?
Well, you can, like I said, watch what you're eating. I mean, think about this. Guess when people really start getting sick in the United States? It usually starts right around Halloween and goes all the way through into January. What changes? Everybody's all of a sudden consuming all this sugar, all these fast foods because they don't have time to do other things and cook, and they're consuming ultra processed foods. You know, they're eating a lot of baked goods and things like that. So don't do that, and stay hydrated, move, exercise, get enough rest. Rest is so important.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that something I had to learn. I wasn't this way all my life, sitting in front of a camera for 3, 6, 7, 8 hours a day, and I started noticing I was getting some edema. And I went to the doctor and like, no, you're fine. All your blood works and everything. I'm like, well, why is my foot getting puffy? Sometimes. And they started talking to me and they said, well, what do you do? Are you sedentary? And I'm like, no. And I told them what I did. I'm like, well, that's it. You just can't sit for 6 hours at a time. And also, what you just said, they told me to hydrate. And I thought hydrate meant, eight glasses of water per day, as that was the thing we were always told as kids. And they're like, not for your size. You're probably going to have to, actually double that. And so I sit with a gallon jug and basically go through that during a day when I'm doing a show, because I thought putting too much fluid in your body would cause edema, not realizing that putting more fluid was actually a cure for the edema. It actually helps you flush more. So you're exactly right. Sorry for going out about like that, but when you talk to me, it's so funny. Like I've told people many times, I listen to what people say, and your advice has helped me personally. And I just want to stop and say that. So let me get back to what we were talking about. So do you think that's why RFK Jr. has put such an emphasis on doctors learning about nutrition in medical school, which I find this interesting. I didn't know that doctors didn't look into nutrition, that their only focus was medicine. So I find it odd. Is that not something that's been happening, that doctors haven't had a focus on nutrition?
Well, it's totally true. When I used to go around and lecture to doctors and nurses in the 80s, they none of them had any nutrition background. And so they were quite astonished to hear the things that I was saying and teaching them. But the whole thing here is the whole medical schooling changed when the Rockefellers stepped in the 30s. And because the Rockefellers, what did they do? They petroleum. What are drugs based in? Petroleum. So they started teaching the doctors how to write prescriptions. Somebody comes in, they say, I got this thing in my thingamajiggy. Okay, here you go. This is a prescription for you. They don't get at the cause of it. They address the symptoms. And that's what they taught the doctors. And the doctors have been learning that ever since the 30s. So now I am so glad that JFK is putting the emphasis on this. And he's telling them, you better start teaching nutrition in the colleges. He's got that leverage of the federal funding that he can pull if he wants to. Because here's the ultimate thing. Big Pharma is there to keep you sick. Big Pharma wants you sick because they can't make their billions, Barry, if you're well. Nutrition won't make them money. Nutrition won't make the doctors money. So they've got to continue to push drugs in order to make a profit. And if too many people learn how to prevent sickness, chronic disease, and aging, the companies will go broke. Okay? And there's so many things that you can consume that will make a difference in not only your longevity, but your overall quality of life. And I want to talk about one of the most important ones today that many people have no idea about the vast benefits of, which is collagen.
What is collagen and why is it so important? I mean, you see the commercials on television and you go in through the vitamin aisle in the stores. Not a lot of people know what collagen even is.
Well, collagen is the glue that holds our body together. It's also the scaffolding that holds our body up. And it makes up about 70 to 80% of the skin dry weight, about 60% of our cartilage, 90 to 95% of our bones. Most people think, oh, I got to have calcium for my bones. No, you need collagen for your bones. Yes, you need a little calcium there too, but the collagen is 90 to 95% of your bones. And collagen provides the structure, it provides elasticity, and it provides the strength and the structure. And Barry, we start losing our ability to produce collagen around age 25. And we continue to lose more and more as we age. It literally falls off a cliff, especially with women after menopause. And collagen is not replenished unless we're going to supplement it. And even if you drink bone broth every day, you're not getting all 5 types that your body needs.
So I'm a boomer. I take full pride in being a boomer. I earned boomer status. How would I know if I'm someone who needs a supplement for collagen?
Well, I'm a boomer too, and I'm older than you are, okay? So, everybody needs this if you're over the age of 20. Like I said, because it starts to diminish at age 25. And if you've been out in the sun a lot or you drank a lot of alcohol when you're a young kid, you need to take it even earlier. So as our natural production of collagen slows, here's what happens. We start getting wrinkles. We have more aches and pains. We have problems with our bones and joints. We become less mobile. Our hair starts to thin. It starts to fall out. Our nails become brittle and break easily. And essentially our body's falling apart.
So, in looking at that, those kind of things people should start recognizing as the early signs as to when they may need to start taking collagen. I understand that you have a graph that shows that, with your knees and bones and cardiovascular, what should people be looking at to determine if they should be taking it?
Well, first of all, there's so many people out there, even young people, are now dealing with joint pain, creaky joints, joint mobility issues. And, there's a study out there that showed that when patients with knee osteoarthritis supplemented with collagen for 12 weeks, they showed significant improvements in pain, in their pain intensity. And it doesn't just benefit your joints, it's going to impact your bones and your muscles as well.
Wow. So I know you've talked with us, we've had probably 5 or 6 different interviews about how our health on the inside is reflected on the outside. You always talk about the gut health when we talk about kimchi. Does that also apply with collagen?
Oh, very much so. I mean, if you start taking collagen, you're going to notice so many different things. You're going to notice that your skin is different. You're going to notice the elasticity of your skin. Your wrinkles, your fine lines and wrinkles are going to go away. You're helping it because, again, collagen makes up 70 to 80% of our skin. And the hydration of our skin, which helps slow the aging of your skin tissues. Your hair is going to grow faster, thicker, healthier. Your nails are going to grow stronger and grow faster. And again, when you make your body healthy on the inside, it is reflected on the outside. And the reason that I named this company Brightcore is I want people to have a bright, strong core. Our bones are our core. All these things contribute to our core. So our philosophy at Brightcore is we need to strengthen anything that has to do with our core. And
I want to ask you real quick if you could, because a lot of people don't know, unless you've been exercising and understand. Everyone knows what their gut is. Can you explain to people, when you say core, what exactly are you referring to?
I'm referring to the core of your body, whether it's the gut, whether it is the whole digestive system, which starts in our mouth and goes all the way, whether it's your bones, we start to lose bone density. There's so many studies out there that show the collagen peptide supplementation improves bone mineral density. And as we're aging, we're losing that. And so we're becoming weak in our bones. And so our muscles are becoming weaker when we age. And collagen plays a role in that. All these variables are so important so we don't have fractures when we get older and we can manage osteoporosis. So when we're talking about core supplementation with natural supplementations like collagen that were there in our body originally, it also helps us prevent this happening, and it also speeds up recovery from injuries and surgeries, and it actually enhances wound healing. So when you're paying attention to your core, all these things can be happening.
For everybody watching, and they may not be familiar, can you tell us about the Brightcore collagen supplement called Revive?
Yes, it's a premium collagen out there. We were one of the very first people that brought this out. And it includes everything that you need to rebuild the collagen in your body. And it's available in powder and capsule form. There's 5 types of collagen. Collagen 1, 2, 3, 5, and 10. Collagen type 1 is for your skin elasticity and anti-aging benefits. Type 2 is for your joint cushioning and mobility. Type 3 supports your firm and youthful skin. And type 5 is hair and nail strength, and type 10 is for bone and cartilage health. And we also add in a substance that's very expensive. It's called hyaluronic acid. That is for joint and skin lubrication. Now, hyaluronic acid can pull in and hold up to 1,000 times its weight in water. So you can imagine how much it hydrates, our joints and our skin. And it's such a vital component of our Revive formula because collagen just does not function the same without it. And then we put biotin in, which is a B vitamin that's known to really support hair and nails. And vitamin C, collagen doesn't work without vitamin C. It actually helps increase absorption of the collagen and helps in our natural production. And we hydrolyze our collagen peptides. We make that easier for your body to absorb and now utilize that collagen, because when the collagen is not broken down into the smaller peptides, your body can't utilize it right. And this is an expensive thing to do, but we do it.
So I guess those are I'm not even going to try to say the name of that acid that you said, but adding the acid, the vitamin B, the C, are those the things that separate collagen that they see in the supermarket versus the collagen that in Revive with Brightcore?
Well, here's the thing. There's so many different collagen supplements. They've all jumped on the bandwagon now in the market. So it's important to concentrate on quality. And we use superior ingredients in our Revive. And I can't guarantee that any supermarket or any collagen anywhere else is as good as ours, because we are sourcing, not from overseas, we are sourcing here in the United States. We're sourcing from grass-fed bovine, free-range chickens, wild-caught Atlantic cod, and organic eggshell membrane. And we're using all 5 different types of collagens. A lot of your collagens only have 1 or 2 or 3 collagens. And we're not using binders or fillers. Every single batch we have third-party tested. So you know that you're not going to have heavy metals in this collagen, which I can tell you there are a tremendous amount of other collagens out there that contain heavy metals, and they're cheaper, of course. Now, this is 100% made in the USA, non-GMO, gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free, and soy-free.
Wow. So what have your customers at Brightcore experienced while taking the Revive? But I'm going to answer that before you even answer it, because I know one of your customers very intimately. That's my wife, Robin. It's so funny. As she's aged, like you said, her skin has gotten thinner. And we've got 2 little dogs, and one of them's a little Maltese that just likes to run up and everything. And she was noticing that the dog she would get scars, and things her skin would break because of the dog playing. Since she's been taking Revive, that's one of the things she's noticed has reduced. I mean, it's a side benefit. You talked about hair and nails and wrinkles, but I can tell you firsthand, her skin has gotten better and more resilient to that kind of thing. So what have your other customers experienced when taking Revive?
I am so happy to hear that, but that, believe me, we hear that a lot, especially in older people, 50 and above, because their skin gets so thin that it literally breaks. And if they bump it, it bruises, and that's not going on anymore. And people that have had severe joint pain, they're able to do things now, Barry, all the things they were doing 20, 30 years ago without the pain. They have the mobility. And then when people go to the doctor and they find out their osteoporosis is stabilized, and people tell us that their family and friends, that haven't seen them for a while, they're noticing a difference in the way they look in their skin. They're looking younger, and they're like, "What are you doing? You look amazing."
I like I said, I can attest to it. I always like to tell people when I'm getting a benefit from something, or if Robin's getting a benefit for something, and it's absolutely true. So with that, in closing, do you have a special offer today for the Fanfare family?
Most definitely. I mean, they can go to mybrightcore.com/Barry and get 25% off using the code Barry. Or you can call us at 888-418-6738 for up to 50% off. Plus, we're going to put free shipping in. And I really like people to call in so we can talk to you, make sure this is the right product for you. You understand it. You understand how to use it. And also, guess what? We are going to give the first 100 callers this wonderful collagen sheet mask with their order. It is so beautiful. You use it for 20 minutes and you relax and you take it off and your skin is just gorgeous. So call now, 888-418-6738, and get that up to 50% off, free shipping, and the free collagen mask.
That's awesome, Kim. Let me just tell you, from Robin and I, it's been a great year talking to you and working with Brightcore and your whole team. And I just want to personally say, Merry Christmas.
Well, Merry Christmas back, and thank you for having us. And I hope we're helping a lot of people in your audience with their health. And I know we've helped you and Robin, and that brings me so much joy. So God bless you all, and Merry Christmas.
I should take a snapshot. It's hard sometimes because I'm talking, but when I mention you and we talk about Kimchi and we talk about Brightcore, I see so many people in the comments who will come in, "Oh, it's worked for me, it's fantastic." And I'm like, I wish more people could see that stuff in the comments. I got to find a way to get those on screen so people know exactly that it is indeed working. So thank you. Have a great holiday season, and we'll talk to you in the new year.
Yes, definitely.